hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. If you guys are new to us on Cyrus Webb Presents, welcome. Make sure you guys do give us a follow if you're joining us on the Amazon side of our program. If you guys are joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and Instagram, welcome to you guys. Glad you can be here with us. Have a great show that's coming up for you guys today. We're excited to welcome back Dr. Teresa A. Smith, or Dr. TAS. You guys have got to know her, back to the program. She's celebrating her newest book, her newest bestseller, which I'm very excited about, Dr. TAS Speaks. You guys can see I have mine here. This is her Empower Your Journey 31-Day Meditation. We're going to talk to her not only about the journey to this book, but also, of course, how it all began with this book you guys see here, Stronger, what it's been like for her to share this positive message with all of you. Want to already say hello to you guys joining us over on IG. Naheed, hello to you. Good to be able to see you. I think it's pronounced Salsid. I think it is. I'm probably mispronouncing it. I apologize. Thank you so much for joining us over there on IG. But Dr. TAS, welcome back to the broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Cyrus.
Look, it is always a pleasure. It's been a very busy year in this week.
Yes, yes.
But I'm so excited. You're my last conversation of our Prime Day conversation. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
happy to have you on. So, TAS, we got to talk. I'm so excited. And I said to myself, in this conversation, my objective was to not do two things: to not make you cry,
Okay.
and to not, and
Oh,
to not make this too much of a situation where it gets too personal. I want this to be light
okay.
because this really, to me, is very inspiring. What you've been able to do. First of all, what has it been like for you to kind of sit with the fact that you are an Amazon bestseller?
Cyrus, you know, Cyrus knows, guys, I struggle with success. And it has been, I'm not going to cry, but I carry this baby. And, my mother says that she can carry a child, but she can't deliver. I
Mm,
carried this baby and I thought, Lord, please let me deliver. Let me deliver. And then to deliver, and then for folks to receive it and it become an Amazon bestseller. It's like ice cream and cake and cookie and pizza and fried chicken, all the stuff that you shouldn't be eating. It's just like I'm so overwhelmed with gratitude that folks received my work and they were willing to buy my book before it was even released. So to me,
yeah.
it's humbling and I'm just so ecstatic and so glad that I've delivered my baby.
Yeah, let's talk about that, Todd, because I don't think a lot of people may realize that. The book became a bestseller when it was still available for pre-order. Um, so did this book feel different for you, Taz, when you were in it? Did it feel like something different for you?
It was, Cyrus. And I'm always telling people the truth because that's just who I am. I started living this book as I was finishing this book. And the book was born out of my desire to help others to, well, for lack of a better word, empower their journey. Because I'm doing meditations all day long. I'm constantly reflecting. I'm trying to do better with self-care, and I'm doing better with self-care the last couple of
Okay.
days because I've been in the book, guys, because I started my teaching. And I said to someone, you're doing these teaching sessions, you got to live it. And so for
Mhm.
me, this book was personal, different than stronger. It was more personal because it's like a lifeline. You got to walk it. You can't just talk it, you got to walk it. And so that's what made it personal for me in a different way. So that's the reason I was ecstatic when it became a bestseller, because for me it said that my audience trusts me, that they know if I'm putting something out there, it's going to benefit them. And everything that I do, not going to cry, Cyrus, everything that I do, I want it to benefit people. I don't want to just do it to do it. I want it to make an impact.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Now, if you cried, now that's not on me because I said I wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to be the one to make you.
It's gonna be on me. Okay.
Hey, look, and it's on. We have it. It's on tape, as they say. It's on tape. I said, but Taz, that I'm so happy for you, because I know how hard you work. I've known Taz since the beginning of her journey with Stronger, and so it's been great for me to see the evolution of her. And I love that you are. I still slap her hand about the self
You
care.
do.
and she has what I call the Martha, syndrome
Yes.
that creeps in, but it happens. But I think it goes to something that you actually talk about in Stronger, because I'm curious for you, Dr. Taj, as part of this, you've been talking about this week for those who are following you on social about art, creativity, that being the gift and expression. I have heard people even talk about art as their own prayer, which I thought was really fascinating, right? Um,
Mhm.
for yourself, how does it feel to know that you can, even when people told you that you couldn't?
He said he was not gonna make me cry. And Stronger, my neighbor said I was the ugliest little black a little black girl she'd ever seen. People said that I couldn't, that I wouldn't make it. And I think it's in Stronger that the song "I'm Still Here" is in there. Um, as you say, you know how hard I work. And
Mm-hmm.
for those who are around me, I say to them, I never ask more of anybody else than what I ask of myself. But you
Yeah.
see, people don't understand. And as I then say, I ask a whole lot of me. And I've
Yeah.
had to scale that back because I'm asking too much of people. So when you
Mm-hmm.
say to me, what does it feel like to basically have achieved when people thought that I couldn't? I cannot. My mind is running. I can't put that into words because when you grow up and you've been sexually abused, you misunderstood. You go through bullying and you're just trying to find your way and be safe in life.
Yeah.
That's all I've ever wanted to do, just to find my way and be safe. It's not about being accepted by other people because I know I'm different,
Yeah.
but that's okay to be different. And then to get to a place where, because I was reflecting before our interview, I was like, if someone had said to me, well, my sister set up my Facebook page, and I said this to her recently. Did you imagine when you set up my Facebook page that I would be able to go live on Facebook? She said no. I said, you remember the first time I cooked live on Instagram? She's like, yeah. And I said, my mic didn't work. And I was like, I'm not going to stop. And I got back on that wagon real quick, did another show, and then we made a joke about it and everything. And it's like, who would have thought, as you say to me, Cyrus, sometimes, that I would have 5 books? And when I started, I only wanted to write one book as a child. I wanted to write one book. And
Yeah.
here I am, I've written 5 books. So to look at where I've come from and this idea of how does it feel is overwhelming. And what I would hope that other people would glean from my story is that it doesn't matter what people say about you or
Yeah.
how they treat you. It's about how you feel about yourself and how you treat yourself and learning to motivate yourself. Because self motivation is what really keeps me going, Cyrus, because I wouldn't be able to do this without it.
Right. Well, Taz, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad we had to have this conversation. Hello to you, Marva. Marva Riley says hello to you as well. She's joining us on Instagram. Hello to you, Spinksman. Good to be able to see you. I got your voicemails. I've been busy with Prime this week, so I definitely will get with you by this weekend for sure, Spinkman. For those who are just tuning in, though, welcome. You're watching Cyrus Webb Presents. Excited to welcome back best-selling author. Let me put some respect on her name. Best-selling author, Dr. Teresa A.
He's so crazy, guy.
aka Dr. Taz. We're talking with her about her journey, her brand new book, Dr. Taz Speaks, that's available now here on Amazon, as well as, of course, all of her books. From Bravery to Victory is another book that's only a Kindle edition right now.
Yep.
That's available for you guys to get, as well as Transformation the Bounce Back. It's also not here, but you can get it on Amazon as well. So let's talk about the inspiration behind Empower Your Journey 31-Day Meditation, because Dr. Taz Speaks. What was it like for you because you are a teacher at Heart Ties?
Yeah.
Talk to us about the classroom you wanted to present in this book.
Cyrus, with Dr. Todd Speaks, as you said, I am a teacher at heart, and I have been teaching since I was a little girl, but I didn't realize what I was doing, the teaching and the coaching. And so when I work with clients, whether they're official clients or individuals that are part of my life or that I meet through other people, I find myself always teaching. I'm always coaching. And I started with my affirmations, but my prompts that I do, my inspirational prompts that I do. And, I thought about it. I'm like, you're getting somebody's attention, but so what? It's like you invited me to dinner, but you didn't invite me to the table. And so I thought, what's that next step? And so the next step was, okay, how can I give you a meditation or an inspirational post, but then help you to develop into who you want to be? And so for me, that became the Dr. TAS Speaks series, and providing the affirmation, the way that you focus your thoughts for that particular day. And then that takes you throughout your day. And then the reflection activities, because we all have to reflect on things. And I find even with myself, sometimes I will react instead of stepping back and looking at what's in front of me to determine what's really happening. And I think that becomes, it's an art, Cyrus, because we live in such a fast-paced world. We have to respond so quickly. No, you do not. You take the time to gather the information so that you can make an informed decision before you respond. And so for me to be able to take all the things that I use on a day-to-day basis that are somewhat automatic for me, and then to put them in the book, it was difficult. That's the reason I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deliver my baby, because it's challenging. Because every time I would pick up my manuscript, I was constantly tweaking it. And I finally had to say, Martha, let's put this to bed. Soon they gonna get you, Martha. You know who was gonna get you, Martha. Put this to bed, because you can always go back and revise if you feel so driven about a particular component, So for me, it was like, how can I get this resource in the hands of my audience so that it helps them?
Yeah. We're meeting here on July 17th. So I wanted to talk about day 17 in the book. Self-compassion. I thought this was an interesting one. Today, love flows to and within me. And the affirmation is something I want to talk to Dr. TAS about. The affirmation you have is, I extend the same kindness and compassion to myself as I do to others. I thought the wording of that was interesting, because a lot of times people will talk about, I extend the same kindness and compassion to others that I extend to myself. This affirmation alludes to the fact that a lot of times we don't treat ourselves as good as we treat other people. So Dr. TAS, speak to us. Talk to us about the importance of making sure that we're treating ourselves with kindness and compassion.
Cyrus, I don't know if it's the Jesus complex or what, but, some of us feel that we've got to serve everybody else, but we don't take care of ourselves. And for me, it was important to stress the fact, it's me first, then I do this to others. And I was raised to treat other people well. I wasn't raised to treat myself well. And let me explain that, guys.
Yeah.
My mother is a person who's very giving. And so I grew up seeing her model that. If someone passed in the neighborhood, if there's something going on, she's the first person to try to make sure things are taken care of. But I did not really see her take care of herself. And so that was my model, because if something happened, I'm going to help everybody. But what about helping me? And so I have struggled with that. And so I wanted to put that out front, because I don't think the world that we live in celebrates us for taking care of ourselves first.
Yeah.
And that was important to me. And it's like, when I write it, I hope that it gives someone permission, because I say it. But when you can read it over and over again, eventually it begins to sink in. And that's what I wanted for the audience to understand. You matter. We hear people say that, but what does that look like when I say I matter?
Yeah.
I make decisions that are in my best interest. I'm thinking about my well-being 24/7. I have to.
Love that. And this is not, Dr. TAS, what we're talking about. I have a saying that I say with a lot of people, my friends, and even people I work with. This is simple but not easy. It's simple. What you just said makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But that is not the way we live in this world.
No.
So that takes then a degree of reprogramming. So let me ask you then, the reason why I purposely put these books up here the way I did. How did this Dr. Taz get here when it came to that? How did you get from here and this understanding of the showing yourself kindness and compassion? How did you get to this place?
Now, Cyrus, my mind is running because I know how I got here, and I got to see how I can be PC about it.
Uh-huh.
The Teresa that is on Stronger is the little girl who used a lot of things that are very positive as coping mechanism. Think of it, is it Lionel that took his blanket everywhere with Charlie Brown?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those were my coping mechanisms, but I didn't understand that. And they were great things. But that's how I coped with my world. When I wrote Transformation, and you and I started working through transformation with our 10-week series, because it's 10 messages, guys. I transformed. Now, it hasn't been easy, but that's when I realized that things that I had a part of my life really were not there. They served their purpose in their time, but I had gotten to a place in my evolution that they were now hurting me.
Mm.
And when you talk about simple but not easy, that's not easy to break away from something that you've been a part of your whole life.
Yeah.
And so it's been a struggle, but I realized when I would go back, as I would say to some people, I would be punished for it. I would get punished, literally. He would punish me because things would not go well with me. So that said to me, if I'm reflecting, now you see what keep happening. Why do you keep doing that? If I'm going to keep going back to drink of that cup, that bitter cup, then that's on me because I understand what's happening. And so I had to come to terms with it. And it's funny, sometimes it hurts me. I'll be honest. Sometimes I want to cry when I think about it because it's such a part of my life, my quilt. But then when I moved to Empower Your Journey, if I hadn't gone through all of that, I couldn't write Empower Your Journey. I couldn't understand how hard it is to walk away from personal relationships, work relationships, what family, familial things. I couldn't understand that because I've dealt with all of that. I understand it and I know how challenging it is. And you have to constantly, Cyrus, empower yourself every day, all day long in multiple aspects. I will say to you, as I was writing this book, one of my beta readers said something about self-care and the fact that, she didn't say it this way, but basically self-care is becoming oversaturated. Thank you, Dr. Velma, for joining us, because Dr. Velma talks about this, having your own voice. Nobody can do it the way that you can do it. It may be oversaturated. And I said to the person, that's nice, but why aren't people taking care of themselves then?
Yeah.
Because we still haven't got it. We have to hear it multiple ways all the time.
Right. Yeah, I think it goes back to what Jesus said, right? There are a lot of listeners, but not a lot of doers.
Exactly.
And I think that is where we miss the mark. A lot of us know better, we just don't do better.
We don't do it. Mm-hmm.
And Maya Angelou talked about that as well. And I think, again, simple but not easy.
Yes.
It is. And that's why I tell people I'm so glad I wasn't born smart, because I've known everything is a process. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So for people who tell me, all you got to do is, I'm like, okay, well, no, it's not really that easy. But it's interesting how people will try to push you out there. Hello to you, Robert Reading Room. Good to be to see you over there on IG as well. And Dr. Taz says, yes, do better. So I want to talk about this then. For you are starting this new series on social media, I'll say, because you're posting on all the platforms. Talk to us about how you want Dr. Taz Speaks to be used and what you hope it does for the reader, Taz.
Cyrus, I've started working through the book. And as I say to folks who are purchasing the book, you can go through the book in any order. And I'm not doing it from day 1 to day 31. I'm just doing it, as I think it should be done. And so my hope is I'm doing, 5-7 minute teachings on that particular day. I'm trying to provide some practical applications that make it real for folks. I'm a spiritual person, so you may see me sprinkle a little spirituality in there also for folks. But what I want them to do is what they can do, because some people learn differently. You can take the book and you can take the lessons that I'm doing and marry them, because I am further explaining the book not verbatim, but I'm helping to make the book real for you. So it may be that you're a person who likes the audio that I'm doing. Then listen to the audio, because you can listen to it on the go, then go back to your book and work through that particular section. So my hope is that it's an accompanied piece where you're working through the book and then you'll listen to the audio and back and forth. Because when you listen, because depending upon learning styles, I'm auditory visual. It's amazing what will pop in your head days after you've listened to somebody say something, or it will just continue to resonate. So my hope is that the teachings will further explain, further empower folks to understand what I'm talking about in the book.
Love it. Love it. Well, congratulations again to you, Dr. TAS. So glad we had you on as part of our Prime Day conversations, and so glad we can talk about your new bestseller. Again, everyone, Dr. TAS Speaks. Empower Your Journey, 31-Day Meditations, available right here on Amazon. You can get it, as well as her other books as well. Stronger Than There Is, From Bravery to Victory. There's Transformation to Bounce Back. And then, of course, as I mentioned, the newest book as well. TAS, let them know how to stay connected with you. You have a lot of other things going on. You have your podcast. You have other things, too. How can they best stay connected with you?
Cyrus, the best way for them to stay connected to me is just to go to my website, which is askdrtas.com, askdrtas.com. You'll be able to keep up with me as far as all of the things I have on the social media, my podcast, my other show with my sister, Real Talk with Taz and Angelia. Everything is there. And also, if they want to do a consult with me, I've been offering to folks, if they purchase any of my books, they can come to my website and contact me via there, and I will give them a 15-minute consultation. Because my goal is to help people move forward. As you said, there's a lot of listeners, but not a lot of doers. And it's not as simple to move forward in life as people would have you to believe. Yep. And my thing is, if I can help someone, I hear the church way in my brain, along their path, then my living has not been in vain. I'm a church girl, guys, but really, if I can help you along your path, then I've done what God put me here to do, and that's what I'm all about. So,
love that. Melissa says hello to you as well. She also said, Dr. TAS also says, awesome. Well, I'm glad to have you wrap up our Prime Day conversations for us, Dr. TAS. Again, great conversation, and looking forward to our next chat together.
Thank you so much, Cyrus.
More than welcome. We thank you all for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. Marva says we keep talking about it until someone listens. Someone is always listening and changing, although you may not be aware. And so I appreciate that, Marva. And I think that is why conversations like this are so important for us, too. So, again, I appreciate you all being with us. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for being with us. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.